Hi guys, welcome back to English with Max. In this video, we're going to look at 5 very common English expressions. These expressions are universal. They're not typically American or typically British. They're used in all English-speaking countries. These aren't slang expressions, but we use them in spoken language and informal writing. So don't write them in your academic essays. If you'd like to watch this video with subtitles, remember to turn on the captions. Don't forget that you can also follow me on social media, and remember to subscribe and to click the little bell if you want to be updated on new videos. If you haven't yet signed up for my course on common mistakes, you can click the link in the description. That link will take you to the main page where you can watch some previews, and by clicking on that link, you'll also be able to get the course at a discounted price. Okay, the first expression is fair enough. Fair enough. We say this when we think something is reasonable or to show that we understand something, whether or not we actually agree with it. Normally, we say it in response to something someone has said. For example, I'll cook dinner and you can wash up. Fair enough. In this case, person B is agreeing. So they're basically saying, sure, that's fine. Another example, person A says, I'm going to stop dating that girl because she never returns my phone calls. Person B says, fair enough. In that case, person B isn't really agreeing or disagreeing. They are just saying, that's reasonable, I understand. Here's another example. Person A, I think we should fire Frank. Person B, if you don't like him, fair enough, but you can't say that he's bad at his job. In that case, person B is basically saying, I understand why you think that, but I don't think we should fire him. In other words, I understand, but I disagree. And finally, I won't be able to finish the report by Friday because I've had a cold. Fair enough, but you had the same excuse last week. In that case, person B is saying, well, I kind of understand you, but it sounds like you're just making excuses. The next expression is, it's up to you. It's up to you. In French, this is similar to comme tu veux. And in Spanish, it's a bit like como quieras. This simply means it's your decision, or you decide. For example, do you want to eat in or eat out this evening? It's up to you. In other words, I don't care, you decide. Which movie do you want to see later? It's up to you. When we're speaking, we often leave off the it's. So we just say, up to you. Up to you. You can also replace you with other nouns or pronouns. For example, it's not my decision. It's up to them. Will you get a promotion? I don't know. It's up to my boss. In those last examples, we wouldn't leave off it's. We only leave off it's if you is in the sentence. So you can say, it's up to you or up to you. The next phrase is, I don't mind. I don't mind is a slightly more polite way of saying, I don't care. I don't care isn't necessarily rude. If you use a pleasant tone of voice when you say it, normally it's fine. For example, what do you want for lunch? Oh, I don't care. But you need to be careful with it because sometimes it's used to express annoyance or indifference. For example, someone might say, "Fine, I don't care." Anyway, "I don't mind" is very polite. You might have noticed that I didn't really pronounce the T. I didn't say, "I don't mind." When we speak, we normally swallow it. So we say, "I don't mind." I don't mind. You can often use it instead of "up to you." For example, "Do you want to eat in or eat out this evening?" I don't mind. "Which movie do you want to see?" I don't mind. But there are some instances where those expressions aren't interchangeable. For example, "Can I share a table with you?" Sure, I don't mind. In that case, we wouldn't say, "Sure, it's up to you." Another example. "Do you mind giving me a lift home later?" No, I don't mind. Again, in that case, we wouldn't say, "No, it's up to you." Now guys, if you're a French or a Spanish speaker, be careful. Instead of saying, "I don't mind" or "it's up to you," a lot of French and Spanish speakers will say, "as you want" or "as you like." While that's not grammatically incorrect, native speakers wouldn't say it. You will sometimes hear native speakers say, "as you wish." I think that phrase was made popular by The Princess Bride, a great movie. But we don't really use it instead of "I don't mind" or "it's up to you." We normally use it in response to a command or a request. But it's quite formal and old-fashioned, so I don't recommend that you use it. This expression is, "it rings a bell." It rings a bell. In French, it's like, "ça me dit quelque chose," and in Spanish, the translation would be, "me suena." We say this when something sounds familiar to us, but we don't know or can't remember much information. Have you heard of the movie The Princess Bride? It rings a bell, but I don't know what it's about. You can also say, "that rings a bell." That rings a bell, but I don't know what it's about. We also often say, "the name" or "his" or "her name" rings a bell. For example, "Have you heard of this movie?" The name rings a bell. Do you know George Foster? I've never met him, but his name rings a bell. You can also use it in a question. For example, "Does that name ring a bell?" The final expression is, "Here you go." Here you go. When we speak, the U becomes a Y. Here you go. Here you go. This is a very simple expression, but I decided to include it because when you think about it, it's a bit strange. Here you go? You go where? It actually has nothing to do with going anywhere. It's just a common thing that we say when we give something to someone, particularly something that they're expecting. Let's see some examples. "Can you pass me the salt, please?" Here you go. "I just collected the mail and there are some letters for you. Here you go." We also sometimes use it in emails. For example, if someone asks you to send them a document, you could send them an email with the document attached and just write, "Here you go." But remember that it's colloquial, so we would only do that with someone who we knew relatively well. A very similar expression is, "here you are." It means the same thing, so you can use "here you are" and "here you go" interchangeably. If you'd like to practice using any of these expressions, write a few sentences in the comments and I'll try to correct them for you. See you next time. I think that bride that you need to be blah, blah, blah. For example, Kookaburra is outside.